Celebrating the new year is a global tradition, yet every culture welcomes the first day of the calendar with its own unique flavors and culinary symbols. From the long, year-crossing noodles of Japan to the golden cornbread of the American South, these dishes are more than just food, they are edible prayers for luck, health, and prosperity. This collection of the 10 most famous New Year's dishes worldwide offers a detailed look at the ingredients and techniques that have defined the start of a new chapter for generations. Here is the first dish for New Year's Eve in the United States. 1. Hoppin' John, United States. Hoppin' John is a legendary dish from the southern United States, where every ingredient carries a deep symbolic meaning for the new year. Black-eyed peas represent coins, leafy greens represent paper money, and golden cornbread represents gold, creating a complete culinary wish for financial success. Prepare 500 g dried black-eyed peas, 300 g smoked ham hock or thick-cut bacon, 400 g long-grain white rice, 1 large yellow onion, 2 stalks of celery, 1 green bell pepper, 3 cloves of garlic, 1.2 liters of chicken stock. Seasoning includes salt, black pepper, cayenne pepper, dried thyme, bay leaves, and vegetable oil. Rinse the dried peas and soak them in water for 6 hours until they are plump. In a heavy-bottomed pot, fry the bacon or ham hock until the fat renders and it becomes slightly crisp. Add the diced onion, celery, and bell pepper, sautéing until translucent before adding the minced garlic. Stir in the soaked peas and chicken stock, then add the bay leaves and thyme. Simmer on low heat for 45 minutes until the peas are tender but still retain their shape. Pour in the rice, ensure it is submerged, cover the pot tightly, and cook for 20 minutes until the rice is fluffy and the liquid is absorbed. Let it rest for 10 minutes, then fluff with a fork to mix the peas and rice perfectly. Serve in deep bowls, garnished with chopped scallions and a side of buttery cornbread. This hearty meal is best enjoyed while sharing hopes for the coming year with family. Note that the rice should not be overcooked, it should be firm enough to separate easily from the peas, and the ham hock provides the essential smoky depth that defines the dish. Please continue to see the second dish for New Year's Eve in Japan.
Hello everyone, next is the second dish for New Year's Eve in Japan. Toshikoshi Soba Japan indispensable for Japanese New Year's Eve. Toshikoshi Soba features long buckwheat noodles that symbolize a long life, while their brutal nature represents cutting off the hardships and bad luck of the past year to start fresh. Prepare for 100 grams dried soba noodles, 1.5 liters of dashi broth made from kombu, and bonito flakes for large tiger prawns, 100 grams panko breadcrumbs, 1 large egg, 50 grams scallions, to pieces of pink and white kamaboko fish cake. Seasoning includes shoyu soy sauce, mirin, granulated sugar, and salt. Prepare the soup base by heating the dashi broth and seasoning it with soy sauce, mirin, and a pinch of sugar to achieve a balanced savory sweet finish. For the tempura topping, peel the prawns leaving the tails, coat them in flour, dip in beaten egg, then roll in panko before deep frying until golden. Boil the soba noodles in a large pot for 4 minutes, then immediately drain and rinse under cold, running water to remove excess starch and stop the cooking process. Briefly dip the cold noodles into hot water to reheat them right before serving. Place the noodles in a ceramic bowl, pour the hot dashi soup over them, and top with the crispy tempura prawns, sliced fish cakes, and finely chopped scallions. Slurp the noodles loudly to show appreciation for the chef and the tradition. Note that you must finish the noodles before midnight. Eating them after the clock strikes 12 is traditionally believed to carry the old year's bad luck into the new one. Please continue to see the third dish for New Year's Eve in Italy. Hello everyone, next is the third dish for New Year's Eve in Italy. Cotechino con lenticchie Italy. In Italy, the New Year's feast centers around cotechino, a rich pork sausage, served over a bed of lentils whose round shape resembles Roman coins, promising an abundance of wealth in the months to follow. Prepare 1 cotechino sausage approximately 600 grams for 100 grams dried brown or green lentils, 1 large carrot to stalks of celery, 1 medium white onion to cloves of garlic, 600 milliliters vegetable stock. Seasoning includes extra virgin olive oil, salt, black pepper, bay leaves, and dried rosemary. If using a prepackaged cotechino, boil it in its pouch for 25 minutes. Then carefully remove the casing and slice the sausage into thick rounds. For the lentils, soak them for an hour, then drain. Saute the finely diced onion, carrot, and celery in olive oil until soft and aromatic. Add the lentils, garlic, and vegetable stock along with the herbs. Simmer for 40 minutes on low heat until the lentils are tender and have absorbed most of the flavorful liquid. Spread the warm lentils across a serving platter and arrange the sliced cotechino on top in a circular pattern. The richness of the pork is perfectly balanced by the earthy, fiber-rich lentils. Note that the sausage is naturally very salty and fatty, so be conservative when seasoning the lentils with salt to ensure a harmonious final taste. Please continue to see the fourth dish for New Year's Eve in the Netherlands. Hello everyone, next is the fourth dish for New Year's Eve in the Netherlands. Oliebollen Netherlands oliebollen or oil balls are the traditional Dutch treat for New Year's deep fried to golden perfection to protect the eater from the sword of the goddess Perchta, which according to myth would slide off those who had eaten oily foods. Prepare 500 grams all-purpose flour, 400 milliliters warm whole milk, 10 grams active dry yeast, 1 large egg, 150 grams raisins, 1 green apple peeled and diced, the zest of 1 lemon. Seasoning includes granulated sugar, salt, cinnamon powder, vegetable oil for frying, and powdered sugar. Activate the yeast in the warm milk with a teaspoon of sugar until it becomes foamy. In a large bowl, whisk the flour, salt, and lemon zest, then incorporate the yeast mixture and egg to form a sticky, elastic dough. Fold in the raisins and diced apples, then cover and let the dough rise in a warm spot for 90 minutes until doubled in size. Heat a deep pot of oil to 170 degrees Celsius. Use the spoons to form balls of dough and drop them into the oil, frying for 6 minutes until the exterior is a deep golden brown and the interior is airy and cooked. Drain on paper towels and stack them in a festive pile. Dust the hot donuts generously with powdered sugar until they look like they are covered in snow. Note that maintaining a consistent oil temperature is crucial. If the oil is too cold, the oliebollen will become greasy, and if too hot, the center will remain raw while the outside burns. Please continue to see the fifth dish for New Year's Eve in Greece. Hello everyone, next is the fifth dish for New Year's Eve in Greece. Vasilopita Greece. Vasilopita is a sacred New Year's bread in Greece dedicated to Saint Basil. It contains a hidden coin, and the person who receives the slice containing the coin is blessed with good fortune for the entire year. Prepare 600 grams all-purpose flour, 250 grams unsalted butter, for eggs, 300 milliliters whole milk, 1 tablespoon of finely grated orange zest, 100 grams sliced almonds for decoration. Seasoning includes white sugar, baking powder, vanilla extract, powdered sugar, and salt. Cream the softened butter and sugar until light and fluffy, then beat in the eggs one at a time. Sift the flour and baking powder, then add them to the butter mixture, alternating with milk and orange zest. Mix gently to keep the texture soft. Sterilize a coin, wrap it in foil, and press it into the batter. Pour the batter into a greased cake tin and bake at 175 degrees Celsius for 50 minutes until golden brown. Once cooled, cover the top of the cake with a thick layer of powdered sugar. Traditionally, the cake is cut with great ceremony, with slices dedicated to the house, the church, and then each family member from oldest to youngest. Note that the coin must be wrapped securely in foil for hygiene, and the bread should have a delicate orange aroma that fills the house as it bakes. Please continue to view the sixth dish for New Year's Eve in Mexico. Hello everyone, next is the sixth dish for New Year's Eve in Mexico. Tamales Mexico. For Mexican families, the new year is a time for tamalado, a gathering where everyone helps assemble tamales corn dough pockets filled with meat and steamed in corn husks, representing the wrapping of new hopes. Prepare 1 kilogram masa harina corn flour, 600 grams slow-cooked shredded pork, 40 large dried corn husks, 200 grams lard, 400 milliliters pork broth. Seasoning includes salt, black pepper, guajillo chili powder, minced garlic, and baking powder. Soak the corn husks in hot water until they are pliable. For the dough, whip the lard until it is as light as frosting. Then gradually add the masa harina, pork broth, and salt until the dough is light enough to float in water. Take a husk, spread a thin rectangle of dough on it, add a spoonful of the chili seasoned shredded pork, and fold the husk to seal the package. Steam the tamales upright in a large steamer pot for 90 minutes. Unwrap the tamales while they are hot and steaming. The corn dough should pull away easily from the husk. Serve with a side of spicy red or green salsa. Note that the quality of the masa is key. It must be whipped thoroughly with lard to ensure the tamales are light and fluffy rather than dense and heavy. Please continue to view the seventh dish for New Year's Eve in Germany and Central Europe. Hello everyone, next is the seventh dish for New Year's Eve in Germany and Central Europe. Sauerkraut with pork Germany in Germany and parts of Central Europe. Eating sauerkraut with pork on New Year's is a tradition rooted in the belief that the many shreds of cabbage represent a long list of blessings and a wealthy future. Prepare 1.2 kilograms sauerkraut fermented cabbage, 600 grams pork belly or spare ribs, 3 large bratwurst sausages, 1 yellow onion, 1 large tart apple, 200 milliliters dry white wine. Seasoning includes salt, black peppercorns, bay leaves, caraway seeds, and brown sugar. Cut the pork belly into cubes and sear them in a large pot until the edges are crispy and the fat is rendered. Remove the meat and saute the sliced onions in the remaining fat. Add the sauerkraut, sliced apples, caraway seeds, and bay leaves back into the pot with the pork. Pour in the white wine and enough water to barely cover the ingredients. Cover and simmer on low for 90 minutes until the pork is fork tender. Add the sausages during the final 15 minutes of cooking. Serve a generous portion of the tangy cabbage topped with the succulent pork and sausages. It is traditionally paired with boiled potatoes and spicy mustard. Note that the sauerkraut should be rinsed if it is too salty, and long simmering is essential for the flavors of the pork and cabbage to melt into a savory, comforting stew. Please continue to view the 8th dish for New Year's Eve in Scandinavian. Hello everyone, next is the 8th dish for New Year's Eve in Scandinavian. Kransekake Norway and Denmark Kransekake, the wreath cake, is the ultimate centerpiece for Scandinavian New Year celebrations. It consists of concentric rings of almond cake stacked high to form a tower, symbolizing the cyclical nature of time and family unity. Prepare 500 grams ground almonds finely milled, 500 grams powdered sugar, 3 large egg whites, 20 grams cornstarch. Seasoning includes powdered sugar and fresh lemon juice for the royal icing. Mix the ground almonds, powdered sugar, and cornstarch. Gradually add the egg whites and knead until the dough is firm and non-sticky. Roll the dough into long ropes and place them into greased kransekake ring molds or shape them into rings of decreasing sizes. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes until the rings are firm and pale gold. Once completely cool, stack the rings from largest to smallest. Use the lemon-flavored icing to draw zigzag patterns on each ring, which also acts as the glue to hold the tower together. Note that the cake should be slightly chewy on the inside. To achieve this, you can store the finished cake in an airtight container with a slice of bread for 24 hours before serving. Please continue to view the 9th dish for New Year's Eve in the Baltic and Northern Europe. Hello everyone, next is the 9th dish for New Year's Eve in the Baltic and Northern Europe. Pickled herring Scandinavia and Poland in the Baltic and Nordic regions. Silver-skinned herring is a New Year's staple. The fish's abundance and silver color symbolize a year of bountiful catches and financial prosperity. Prepare 600 grams fresh herring fillets, 2 large white onions, 1 carrot, 1 lemon, 300 milliliters apple cider vinegar, 150 milliliters filtered water. Seasoning includes white sugar, whole peppercorns, bay leaves, mustard seeds, and whole cloves. Clean the fish and cut into bite-sized pieces. If using salted herring, soak it in milk for 12 hours first. Boil the vinegar, water, sugar, and spices together for 5 minutes. Then let the pickling liquid cool completely to room temperature. Layer the fish, onion rings, and carrot slices in a glass jar. Pour the cooled liquid over the fish until submerged. Refrigerate for at least 3 days to allow the flavors to penetrate. Serve the cold pickled herring with dark rye bread, a dollop of sour cream, and fresh dill. The sharp, acidic brine cuts through the natural oils of the fish beautifully. Note that the pickling liquid must be cold when added to the fish to maintain the firm, snappy texture of the herring. Please continue to view the 10th dish for New Year's Eve in South Korea. Hello everyone, next is the 10th dish for New Year's Eve in South Korea. Tteokguk Korea. Tteokguk is a traditional Korean soup made with sliced white rice cakes. The white color represents purity and a clean start, while the round shape of the cakes resembles old Korean coins, inviting wealth. In Korea, finishing a bowl of tteokguk is the ritual that signifies you have turned 1 year older. Prepare 600 grams sliced rice cakes tteok, 400 g beef brisket, 1 liter of water, 2 eggs, 50 grams scallions, 2 sheets of toasted seaweed gim. Seasoning includes gukgonjang soup soy sauce, minced garlic, salt, sesame oil, and ground black pepper. Soak the rice cakes in cold water for 20 minutes. Thinly slice the beef, marinate with garlic and sesame oil, and sear in a pot. Add water and simmer for 40 minutes to create a rich, clear broth. Add the rice cakes to the boiling broth and cook for 5 minutes until they float to the surface. Separate and fry the egg yolks and whites into thin sheets, then julienne them into fine strips. Serve the hot soup in large bowls, garnished with the egg strips, crushed seaweed, and sliced scallions. The soft, chewy texture of the rice cakes makes this a comforting start to the year. Note that the rice cakes should be cooked just until tender. Overcooking will make the soup cloudy and the cakes too mushy. I hope this detailed guide helps you create a spectacular and meaningful New Year's feast. Would you like me to provide tips on how to pair these international dishes with specific beverages or how to set a themed table? Goodbye and see you again with more delicious recipes.